And I gotta say, it is getting easier and easier to start up and manage a smart home, especially if you are in the Amazon ecosystem. In today's video, I'm going to be covering some of the routines that I use in my house, hopefully giving you guys some good ideas on things that you can do in yours. So with that said, let's get started. And welcome back. What is this? What's with the snapping here? Welcome back to today's video. If you guys are new to this series, I'm starting a brand new series on starting a smart home. We're starting out with kind of like beginner stuff. We've done one video in this series right now. I'm actually gonna be starting a playlist. So if you wanna check out the playlist, it's gonna be linked up above for you guys to check out. But like I said, we're getting kind of started with the beginnings of starting a smart home. We talked about what Amazon routines were, how to set them up, kind of the basics of that. And I said that in my next video, I would show you guys the Alexa routines that I am using in my house. So in this video today, we are going to be going over those routines, with this being the beginning of the series. If you know anybody who is interested in starting their smart home, building it out, has any questions, I would love if you guys can share this video out to them. Also, if you can give this video a thumbs up, it lets me know that you liked it, and it also lets YouTube know that other people are liking it, so it'll share this video out even more. Now, the last thing to do would be to subscribe to the channel, and with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the routines that I'm using in my house. Waking up in the morning is easier on some days than others, and I like my routines to be basic. When I wake up in the morning, I don't want to do a lot of talking. I don't want to do a lot of interacting. I want it to start out being simple. So I have set up a morning routine. That morning routine, when it starts off, it sets my Echo Show 5 to volume level 2. It tells me a random good morning message. It gives me the weather, sets the volume back up to 5, which is where I typically like it. And then it brings up a camera of my kids' room so I can see what's going on in there, see if they're awake yet, and if I need to go wake them up or not. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I cannot sleep in a still room. I have to have some kind of airflow, some kind of movement. So I do have my ceiling fan on, whether it is the middle of summer or the dead of winter. With it being winter right now though, I don't necessarily need the fan on when I wake up in the morning. So I've set up a routine that automatically turns the fan off at 7 a.m. when I get out of bed, keeps the fan off all day, and then at night, it turns the fan back on about 7:30. So we've got some airflow moving up there, kind of cools down the room before we head up and go to bed. Now, to set up this routine with my specific fan, I did need to purchase a broad link hub. So with this hub, I connected up my ceiling fan remote. I connected the Broadlink account to Alexa using a skill, and now I'm able to control my fan with my Amazon Alexa environment. Now, like I mentioned, mornings for me are pretty low key. I don't want to do a lot of talking. I don't want to do a lot of interacting with technology. So once I've gotten up, brushed my teeth, gotten dressed, I come downstairs, and to start my morning routine, instead of talking to my devices, I like to just use a button, specifically this button from Flick. So what I set up is that I can go ahead and push this Flick button. One tap is going to run my morning routine. And that is going to repeat the weather to me a second time because, you know, I usually don't pay attention in the morning. It's then going to tell me the traffic. Then we've got the calendar of events for the day, and then it plays me my news briefing, which is the Morning Wire podcast. Having window shades that automatically open and close is a luxury that I absolutely love having. In the office, I am using the Lutron blackout shades. I did a full review if you guys want to check that out. And in fact, everything that I currently use in my house, I will leave below in the description for you guys to check out. I may not mention everything in this video, but just to give you guys an idea of what I recommend, everything will be in the video description below. But setting my blinds on a schedule really helps me get motivated for the day. Instead of walking into a dark room, now at 8 a.m. every morning, I have my blinds automatically open up, making it nice and bright when I come into the office in the morning. But once it starts getting dark, I don't want my blinds open anymore, so I set up a routine to automatically close those blinds 20 minutes before sunset. This way they don't have to shut right at sunset when it is too dark outside and I don't want people looking in. And with adjusting at sunset, it is going to adjust every single day. So I don't have to worry about setting it up at say 4 p.m. in the winter or 8 p.m. in the summer. It'll just automatically adjust itself as the time changes. Now, another automation that I like to use here in the office is to automatically run an air purifier when I am here in the office. So I do have a motion sensor set up here in the office that anytime it detects motion, it is automatically going to turn on that air purifier. Once it detects no motion for 10 minutes, it can go ahead and turn the air purifier off so it is not running all the time. Now, for those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, you probably don't know that I just recently got into a new hobby, and that is a saltwater reef tank. This thing has been a ton of fun. I've loved stocking it up and just adding new things to it. But what I like to do is when I am feeding the fish, I like to turn off the filter. This prevents all the food that I throw in there getting sucked into the filter, kind of lets it settle down for a minute, but there have been times that I forget to turn that filter back on. So I set up a new routine using one of the flick buttons and a smart plug. This routine is set up so when I push and hold on that flick button, it's automatically going to turn that smart switch off. It's gonna wait 5 minutes and then it's gonna kick that filter back on. So that way I don't have to worry or wait about the filter not turning back on, providing filtration and air into the aquarium. It's all gonna be automated for me. Push the button, feed the fish, 5 minutes later, filter turns back on, a lot less for me to have to worry about. So one of the first automations that I set up in my house, probably 4 or 5 years ago, right when I started up this channel, was to set up a motion sensor in the garage to automatically turn on the garage lights when it detected motion, and then automatically turn it off after no motion was detected. What I liked about this is that it allowed me to add additional lights into the garage and just go ahead and plug them into a smart switch on the side of the wall. And then again, using a motion sensor, every time we go into the garage, it turns these lights on. So we don't have to worry about having our arms full or anything like that. And now it automatically turns itself off after not detecting motion for 5 minutes. Now, unfortunately, this is a routine that you have to set up twice. You have to set up the initial routine to anytime it detects motion to turn on the lights. Because I don't want it to have a hard 5-minute rule and then automatically turn them off, I want it to wait for motion to stop before it turns them off. So now I have to go ahead and I have to set up a second routine. The second routine says when no motion is detected for 5 minutes, turn that smart switch off. And that goes ahead and turns off the lights. Unfortunately, I hate that I have to use 2 different routines to set that up, but unfortunately in the Amazon ecosystem, that is the only way to set it up at this time. Okay, another cool thing that I have set up is that when a door or window is open, it is going to announce that that thing was open. For example, if my front door is open, I have a routine that is going to say front door open. I also set up another routine for Alexa to let me know if the kids are escaping.
Bye-bye.
The kids are escaping.
A lot of times people forget that their security cameras have built-in motion sensors. I've set up a routine that anytime my Arlo camera at the front door detects motion, it is automatically going to turn on my porch lights. This way I don't need to leave my porch lights on all night long, but if motion is detected, those lights are automatically going to turn on. Now, speaking of my front porch lights and not keeping those on, I also don't want to go out into the front of my yard without having my porch lights on, mostly for safety of my wife and kids. So I've set up a routine that anytime the front door is unlocked at night, the porch lights are automatically going to turn on for 10 minutes. So that way, anytime somebody goes out of our front door, porch lights are automatically going to get turned on so they're not walking out into a dark front yard. Now, as far as good night routines, I have a couple of them set up. I've got one for the kids and I've got one for myself. The one for the kids is the standard good night routine. When they say good night to their Echo device, it is going to start playing lullabies. It is going to turn on a smart switch, which has their little noise-making fan on, and it is going to turn off the lights in their bedroom. Now, that is the one for the kids, and that one is if they do say good night. Now, because I can't use that same phrase anymore, I've set up a different one that is going to shut down the house. Now, the cool thing about routines is that you can set up multiple voice commands to activate the same routine. So if my wife can't figure out how to turn off the whole house, she can say several different things. I've got set up where I can say power down, shut down, turn everything off. Any of those phrases right there are going to shut off all the lights in my house. In addition to that, it's also going to make sure the front door is locked and secure. Okay, so now that we've talked about the routines that I'm using in my house, I would love to hear what you guys are using in yours. What unique, helpful routine do you guys use that I did not mention in my video? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what did you get out of this video? What are you going to start implementing in your house? I'd love to hear that also in the comments below. Like I mentioned before, if you know anybody who would find this video helpful, please share it with them. I'd like to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon. It truly does help out a lot. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.